Taiwan court strikes down constitutional law changes. Youth mortgages hit post-summer high. Taipei to hold large-scale safety drill after attack. Cambodia, Thailand to hold talks on resuming Trump's truce. Japan prepares to restart world's biggest nuclear plant. TikTok owner signs deal to avoid US ban. Facebook tests £9.99 monthly subscription. Engineer becomes first wheelchair user to go to space.
Hello, I'm Johnny. Thank you for joining us on FUNDAY News. It's Tuesday, December 23rd, night of the radishes, and here are your top stories. In local news, Taiwan's Constitutional Court on December 19th struck down amendments to the Constitutional Court Procedural Act, ruling them unconstitutional due to serious procedural flaws. The decision sparked controversy online, with a poll of over 150,000 participants showing 96% criticizing the ruling, arguing that only 5 justices took part and accusing them of violating the law themselves. Taiwan's finance ministry said youth home loan approvals rebounded in November, with both borrower numbers and loan values rising to their highest levels since August. Public banks issued 4,091 loans totaling 33.1 billion NT dollars. Officials attributed the recovery to relaxed regulatory limits, which eased mortgage bottlenecks and expanded lending capacity. Taipei Mayor Jiang Wan said the city government will hold a large-scale emergency drill on December 26th following a deadly random attack near Taipei Main Station in Zhongshan. The exercise, modeled on New Year's Eve crowd control operations, will take place at Taipei City Hall MRT station and the adjacent bus terminal, involving multiple city departments and agencies. And in global news, Thailand and Cambodia agreed on Monday to hold a December 24th meeting of defense officials aimed at resuming a month-old ceasefire, as fierce border fighting between them entered a third week with at least 80 people killed so far. The decision was taken during a special meeting in Kuala Lumpur of Southeast Asian foreign ministers who were trying to salvage a truce first brokered by ASEAN Chair Malaysia and President Donald Trump after a previous round of deadly clashes in July.
Thailand and Cambodia have engaged in daily exchanges of rockets and artillery along their 817 km land border following the collapse of the truce, with fighting at multiple points stretching from forested regions near Laos to the coastal provinces along the Gulf of Thailand. The top diplomats of the 11-member Association of Southeast Asian Nations urged both countries to exercise maximum restraint and take immediate steps to halt the fighting, while welcoming the planned meeting on Wednesday of the General Border Committee, a long-established mechanism for bilateral talks. The ASEAN foreign ministers expressed hope for the de-escalation of hostilities as soon as possible, and said discussions would include ceasefire implementation and verification.
Japan took the final step to allow the world's largest nuclear power plant to resume operations with a regional vote on Monday, a watershed moment in the country's return to nuclear energy nearly 15 years after the Fukushima disaster. The Fukushima Daiichi plant, located northeast of Tokyo, was among 54 reactors shut after the 2011 earthquake and tsunami crippled it in the worst nuclear disaster since Chernobyl. Since then, Japan has restarted 14 of the 33 reactors that remain operable as it tries to wean itself off imported fossil fuels.
Kashiwazaki Kariwa will be the first plant operated by Tokyo Electric Power Co., TEPCO, which ran the doomed Fukushima plant. On Monday, Niigata Prefecture's assembly passed a vote of confidence in Governor Hideo Hanazumi, who backed the restart last month, effectively allowing the plant to begin operations again. While lawmakers voted in support of Hanazumi, the assembly session, the last for the year, exposed divisions within the community over the restart, despite promises of new jobs and potentially lower electricity bills. TEPCO is considering reactivating the first of 7 reactors at the plant on January 20th.
TikTok's Chinese owner ByteDance has signed binding agreements with American and global investors to operate its business in the U.S. According to a memo sent by Chief Executive Zhou Shouzi, half of the joint venture will be owned by a group of investors including Oracle, Silver Lake, and the Emirati investment firm MGX. The deal, which is set to close on January 22nd, would end years of efforts by Washington to force ByteDance to sell its U.S. operations over national security concerns.
It is in line with a deal unveiled in September, when U.S. President Donald Trump delayed the enforcement of a law that would ban the app unless it was sold. TikTok said in the memo that the deal would enable over 170 million Americans to continue discovering a world of endless possibilities as part of a vital global community. Under the agreement, ByteDance will retain 19.9% of the business, while Oracle, Silver Lake, and MGX will each hold 15%. Another 30.1% will be held by affiliates of existing ByteDance investors. The White House previously said that Oracle will license TikTok's recommendation algorithm as part of the deal. The agreement comes after a series of delays.
Facebook is testing placing a limit on how many links some users can share when they post on the social media platform. Notifications seen by some users based in the UK and the US say they can only share a certain number of links in Facebook posts without a subscription, which starts at £9.99 per month. Meta has described it as a limited test to understand whether the ability to publish an increased volume of posts with links adds additional value for subscribers.
Social media expert Matt Navarra said it signifies the company's bid to monetize more areas of its platforms. Meta Verified offers Facebook and Instagram users a blue tick, enhanced account support, and protection from impersonation. The company now appears to be doing the same for content distribution and the basic ability to send people to other parts of the internet. He was among those recently notified of Facebook's test, having received a notification saying he would only be able to share 2 links a month in Facebook posts. Alongside other social platforms such as LinkedIn, Meta has encouraged users to verify themselves as a way to unlock more features or engagement on its platforms.
An engineer from Germany has become the world's first wheelchair user to go into space. Makala Benhouse, who suffered a spinal cord injury in a mountain bike accident 7 years ago, reached out to a retired space engineer online to see if her dream of becoming an astronaut was still possible. He then helped organize the historic 10-minute flight with Blue Origin. She and 5 others blasted off from Texas on Saturday and reached a point just above the so-called boundary of space, known as the Kármán Line.
New Shepard, Blue Origin's reusable suborbital launch vehicle, took off from the company's Texas launch pad at 14:15 Greenwich Mean Time. Ms. Benthouse, who works at the European Space Agency, said she had really figured out how inaccessible our world still is for people with disabilities following her accident. She made her own way from her wheelchair into the capsule, using a bench extending from the hatch. Hans Königsmann, the retired SpaceX manager who helped organize the trip, was strapped in nearby to offer assistance during the flight if needed. Blue Origin said ground support equipment was added to help Ms. Benthouse enter and exit the capsule.
The answer for yesterday was C, surpassed. The athlete's record finally surpassed the previous world record. Did you answer correctly? Now let's delve into today's news. Japan prepares to restart world's biggest nuclear power plant. Number 1, assembly, 集会议会组装. The issue was discussed in the National Assembly. Number 2, cripple, 使瘫痪严重削弱. The strike could cripple the city's transportation system. Number 3, division, 分裂分歧部门. The issue has caused deep division within society. Next, we have a multiple choice question for everyone to practice. Which answer would you choose? You can write your answer in the comment section. The correct answer will be announced tomorrow. Night of the Radish is beginning Oaxaca, Mexico as a creative way for vegetable sellers to attract customers during the Christmas market. They carved radishes into playful shapes to draw attention. According to local legend, 2 friars once discovered unusually large radishes and brought them into town, turning carving into a holiday tradition. In 1897, a mayor formalized the custom by creating a public contest where carvers could showcase their radish designs. And that's all for today's FUNDAY News. Be sure to tune into FUNDAY News from Monday to Friday and click the link below to join FUNDAY for free. I'm Johnny Wu, your host. I will see you next time.